Okay, Israel, welcome to part 4. Once again, this book, and if you can see in the background, I don't know if you can zoom, but they have the Hebrew writing here, not African. This is Timothy Jenkins. Originally published in 1883. Mexicans are Israelites, all right? Issachar. Lee Huddleston. Okay. Another good book you should pick up if you're interested in delving more into, this history. Okay, so it's real. The Mexicans are originally, this is Lee E. Huddleston, 1967 was when it was published. This is page 88. The Mexicans are originally of the 10 tribes captured by Salmanasar and of the family of Issachar, whom the Indians recognize as their special ancestor. Oh my. Why did the Mexicans recognize Issachar as their ancestor? Once again, this is Mexico's last Native American president. Okay. Passed away in 1831. That's the statue of him. Okay. So-called black Mexican, aka Negro Hebrew Israelites. Okay. This is Issachar, folks. Issachar. Okay. Again, these are the kind of Mexicans that they don't show on TV. And again, if you're in the know, you have an understanding of who actually runs the TV networks here in America. That's right, the synagogue of Satan. So of course they're not going to show you these images of Mexicans. All right. Beautiful. Again, okay, this is a Maya. Mayans are Israelites. Look at their hair, all right? Mayans are so-called Negroes. Mayans are Israelites. Your boy Eric Killmonger from the Black Panther movie. Of course, they don't show you this in American classrooms either. Again, when you realize the so-called Mayans and the so-called American Negro are the same people, it's because they are, okay? And they are Hebrew Israelites of the Northern Kingdom. There's a reason why this information was hidden. Busta Rhymes. Look at the hairdo. It's a Mayan vase. Okay? There we go. Okay, there we go. Again, if you read about Samson had locks, all right? And Dennis Rodman. I've watched this guy play pretty much his whole career. This looks just like him. Bill Cosby. Actually, we're going to find out that the common Native American language was Hebrew. And it's true, folks. We're going to find, not African, it was Hebrew. We don't teach this stuff in class. Many, but not all, Native Americans were of a dark complexion. All right? Without African ancestry. Okay? That's in this book. Jack Forbes. The book is real. Not everyone is African because their skin is dark. Get out of here with that. Okay. Okay, we already know. Fake, fake, fake. Found this funny. We started off copper colored, now we're pale. I thought that was hilarious. Again, real, fake, mainstream. Mainstream is usually fake news. Indigenous American. Okay? Yep. Who's copper colored? The skin is just brown, folks. Most of you are ruddy, which is red, just brown with red hues. Okay? Again, facts, alternative facts. So how does the Choctaw Nation go from dark to pale? When everyone knows scientifically that the dark skin is the dominant gene. Fake, real. Yep. Look it up, folks. $5 Indians. $5 Indians. All right? They're a bunch of thieves. Now, I'm not saying, again, I'm not a BOI, a black only Israelite. You will have some Israelites that look like this in these last days. But if you have a Chippewa chief in 2016 that's in this position, more than likely that he's an Edomite. Because Jake and Esau cannot rule side by side, all right? Again, how did the Pilgrims become Indians? Good question. $5 Indians. Culture vultures. Look this up, folks. This is Scott Beeson. He referred to black people as Aborigines. Look it up. He caught some flack because he let the cat out the bag. And that's all that was. So look it up. That's y'all Indians, one Republican said. They're Aborigines, but they're not Indians, Beeson replied. Psalm 64:8. He shall make their tongue to fall upon themselves. All right? Look it up. Okay, let you read that. This lady, okay, she has the markings of an Edomite, but she has the spirit of a Jake. So I just can't say, but I've seen some of her videos and she's on fire. You don't think we white folks pay attention to the real history, do you? We look at real history. We don't look at real history. We look at the history we were taught in school, which is mostly a flat out lie. Columbus didn't discover America. There were blacks here before Columbus got here. All right. What we call education in this country is actually indoctrination. And she's true. She's absolutely correct. Columbus knew there were blacks here. Okay, let's find out from Columbus himself. This is from Origins of the American Indians. Again, page 4. In none of these statements did Columbus indicate any surprise at the presence of men in the lands he found. He knew, folks. He knew specifically who he was looking for. The children of Israel. That's who Columbus was looking for. Okay? Self-explanatory. That's right. European invaders. You're not pilgrims. You're Edomite invaders. European invaders knew there were blacks settled in the Americas. They kept these facts well hidden. It was much easier and more deceptive to claim that all blacks in the Americas came to the region after slavery. By doing so, they could easily claim the lands of blacks as well as Indians without the worry of having it retaken from them or contested in court by the descendants of these blacks who still exist today and are in fact a large proportion of the 300 million blacks in all the Americas today. The Israelites, folks. James Meredith, 1979. This is from Esquire magazine. Again, my great-grandfather was the last ruler of the Choctaw Nation. When I was growing up, we saw ourselves as Native Americans, not Africans. This is James Meredith. He was in the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary called Ghosts of Old Miss. So if you get a chance, look that documentary up, you get an understanding of what he's talking about. Again, we saw ourselves as Native Americans. He didn't say African. Okay, most of y'all can't prove you have African blood. American, this is from 2011. American Indian sovereignty is over. U.S. government says Negroes are Cherokee Indians. Should say pretendian Indian, pretendian sovereignty. The fake Indians, okay? Our punishment is coming to an end, folks. Our punishment is coming to an end. The curses are falling upon the Edomites. Get in place. Keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. In any case, it is clear that Indians were often designated as Negroes, not Africans. There you go. Yep. I wonder what these pictures have been sitting. That is Eartha Kitt on the right. Donald Driver. It's no longer a secret that most of today's erroneously called African Americans are not Africans, but are the original American Indians. Yes, we are, folks. That's why Dr. King said the so-called Negro is an exile in his own land. You are not only are you the real Native Americans, you are the Hebrew Israelites of the Northern Kingdom for the majority of you, all right? Again, all primitive tribes known in America are dark, copper-colored with jet black hair. This is from George Catlin, 1841. Plats. 1 Peter 3:3. Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair. Okay, growing up, you had sisters, they had plaits. Okay, it's in your Bible. Well, but of course, Pope pedophile ain't gonna bring this out. You this Joel Osteen. There are your plaits, folks. Notice she's Indian right there, all right? Okay, very interesting. You can look this guy up. You can do your own research, but basically, this is the man responsible. Again, Native Americans were reclassified as black, Negro, and colored. We were not reclassified as Africans. Anyone notice that? We were not reclassified as Africans or Mongols. Okay, get that through your head. Yes, elephants were over here, folks. Elephants are indigenous. You do your research, you'll find out they've unearthed a lot of tusks, especially in like the state of Florida, North Florida. Do your research. Again, the Native Americans were reclassified as black, Negro, and colored. Very important to read this. African American is a federal government term describing property, not a race of people. Okay? For example, Trayvon Martin was considered property owned by the United States of America, which is a corporation, and he had no human rights. African American is a 14th Amendment citizen made property by Executive Order 13037, signed into law by Bill Clinton. Look it up, folks. 14th Amendment citizen made property. Executive Order 13037, signed into law by Bill Clinton. Okay? And I'm going to read this down here. According to the United States Department of Interior agent Walter Plecker, who we just read about, and government historian Jack Forbes, the Negro today are the descendants of those people called and referred to as Choctaw, Chickasaw, Chickahoma, Creek, Yamasee, Seminole, Washita, Blackfoot, Shawnee, Shoshone, and many others. Okay? They're not Africans. Two different dark races of people, the so-called Negro and the so-called African. Yep. Made it easier to take someone's land if they were black or Negro. They stole it. You know, I mean, again, if calling on y'all, you so-called Christians, Joel Osteen and Kenneth Copeland, when y'all gonna get these, the Indians their land back? The entire Cherokee population of Carroll County, Georgia, was listed as colored persons in 1830. Now ask yourself, why are we the only ones that have our identity changed 1,000,000 times? So, again, your answer, Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou, Israel, shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all people, that's nations as people, whether the Lord shall lead thee. Okay? They keep calling us this. Indian, Negro, Black, Negro, Colored, Afro-American, African-American. All right? Nah. And then y'all got to get an understanding. They're referring to us as this. We're not calling ourselves this. We just go along with what they say. Okay? Self-explanatory. Indians listed as colored. All right? This is from 1869. Okay, I'm going to stop it there because I'm going to have to go through this right here. This is going to be part 5. So this is from this book again. Okay, so I'm going to go through this. And again, this is in the Jesuit letters from the 1500s. The so-called Negro and Africans are two different people. They knew this back then. Why don't you know it now?